Good evening. We're continuing the 613 Commandment series. It seems like today it's the last. It's going to be the last lecture on the series. Last week we arrived to mitzvah number 570. Yirtzeh Hashem will be able to finish it today. The last mitzvah we spoke about was that a woman, a single Jewish woman, not allowed to have any relationship with a man before they officially get married. And I explained that the Torah speaks in a clean language, so the Torah, instead of calling her a prostitute, the Torah called her Kedesha, like come from the word holy, which is the opposite of what she really is according to the Torah. But the language of the Torah, it's called Sagina Or. This is in Aramaic. So when a woman does such a thing, which means she violated one of the most important things in a life of a Jewish female, then automatically she falls into this category. Not to talk about so many other problems that later when she gets married she's going to have, because according to the Torah, Ba'ala, husband, should be the one who is also Bo'ala. Ba'al means to have relation with a woman for the first time in her life. And also Ba'al in Hebrew means owner, because he buys her by giving her something. It may be very expensive price. She could be a woman that wants millions of dollars to get married. Whatever the price she set, it can be a quarter, it can be $1 million, it's no problem. She has the right to say, you want to marry me? This is what I want. I want a house, I want this, I want. Once she got it, she agreed to be the wife of this person, and he automatically purchased her by giving her this and make kiddushin. That's why she needs his agreement to divorce her. If he doesn't want to divorce her, she's stuck. If I own a car and you beg me to release the car, to sell it, and I don't want to sell it, nobody can tell me what to do. I own it. So if I bought a woman for $1 million, of course, after we love each other, everything is fine, and she agreed to marry me, and I gave her whatever she asked, and now she became my wife, one of the conditions is that she can never go with another man until she gets an official divorce. This is where we ended up last week. Today, mitzvah number 571, it's a very interesting mitzvah. I explained in the past that there are today more than 2 million different species of animals, more than 2 million. And the worst one out of everyone is the dog, and the best one is the donkey. Okay, now why the dog? Because we have a verse in the Torah, it's in Deuteronomy 23, verse 19, Lo tavi etnan zona umechir kelev bet Hashem elokecha. Let me explain what it is. If a person wanted to go to a professional prostitute in those days, he has to pay her something. If he pays her money, he makes the scene with her, and that's it. What happens if he doesn't have money with him? So she wants something collateral. Give me a sheep, give me a horse, give me something. When you come and pay me, I'll release it. So he gives her some kind of a collateral, and the Torah says like this: if he gave her the sheep, and then later he gave her money and redeemed the sheep, and now he wants to give the sheep as a sacrifice to Bet HaMikdash, Hashem said, I'm not interested in this kind of sacrifice. You know, that's not deserved to be brought to my holy temple. This is an example, what it's called etnan zona. But there is something else, also mechir kelev. Let me explain what does it mean. Okay, so this is what it is. Sometimes when a person brings a sacrifice to Bet HaMikdash, if we have a dirty thought about it, that's become a pigul, which means it's not holy as it was supposed to be. Same thing, if a person, for instance, if a person brings the price of a dog, which he wants to now do something with that, replace it with a sheep or something, take the money, buy a sheep, mechir kelev, and bring it into Bet HaMikdash, the Torah say not. That's from here we learn that from all the animals, even though dog is very faithful to his owner, and he has a lot of good things about him, But the Torah say from here, we learn that dog is worse than all the other impure animals. Because none of the other impure animals, the Torah specifically say that if you redeem it with money or buy a sheep for the price of that, or exchange it, you exchange a dog with a sheep and you want to take the sheep and sacrifice it to Bet HaMikdash, nowhere does it say that if you exchange a horse or anything, even a pig, nowhere does it say that you cannot bring it to the temple. Only here by the dog, for whatever reason. There's reasons for it. I explain in different lectures. But this is what it is. So if in case a person wants to redeem those two things, and bring it and make it holy, Hashem say, I'm not interested. Thank you. Don't give me this kind of donations. Mitzvah number 572, not to borrow any money from a Jew and pay him interest. The Torah says, לא תשיך לאחיך נשך כסף, נשך אוכל, נשך כל דבר. Do not give a loan to a Jewish brother of yours. Every time the Torah says אחיך means one of the Jews, right? So if you give a loan, Reuven give a loan to Shimon and wants to charge him interest, then it becomes a very, very, very big sin. Very big sin. One of the worst in the Torah. And what happens if you say, okay, don't give me money because it's not allowed, but give me discounts when I come to your restaurant. Instead of charging me, give me 50% off. What do you care? I gave you a loan. You'll be grateful to me. Also, it's also interest. Also from the Torah, not allowed. You say, okay, you know what? Just help me out. You're a painter, so paint my house for free. I'll buy the paint. You do the job for me for free. It's also not allowed. You're not allowed to receive any benefits from him in return for loan that you gave your Jewish brother. Not allowed. Any kind of service or gift that he's going to give you in order for him to receive a loan from you, it's forbidden. However, if you're a broker and you give loans, and you want to charge him points for getting him a loan from a goy or from a bank, so you want to charge him service for the loan, right? That's permitted. It's no problem. He pays you for the job, for the work, for the phone calls, for the time you put. That's no problem. But monthly interest or weekly interest, not allowed. Not allowed to give interest, not allowed to receive interest. Not allowed to be a broker between Jews, two Jews, Reuven and Shimon. Reuven needs a loan, Shimon looking to invest. You make a date between them and they decided to do the deal. Even if they don't pay you commission, you did it out of good friendship because you're an ignorant person, you didn't know the law. You are liable for the sin also, just like them. You know, if you sign as a witness in an agreement, you're also a sinner because without you it wouldn't happen. So it's the punishment for these sins among all the other problems is that a person who does it does not resurrect in the resurrection of the death. If that's such a punishment for this, that means it's a very big sin. If you don't wash your hands, you don't lose your resurrection or your right to resurrect. Many of the sins, if you violate, we didn't see such a punishment. Over here is 100%. It's very serious. So people that sometimes they do it, they have a very serious problem here. Now, mitzvah number 573, if you lend money to a goy, you can charge him interest. Now, there's an argument between the Chachamim when the Torah says, la goy tashich. You're allowed to charge interest from a non-Jew. Some translate the meaning of this verse as an optional thing. You want to give John or Chris, you want to give him a loan, and he said, okay, give me a loan, I'll pay you whatever, interest, no problem. So some say it's optional. You want to charge him, it's not a sin. Some say, no, you must charge him interest. If you give it to him as a friendship, just give it to him and you don't charge him interest, you're violating the rules of the Torah. You have to charge him something. You understand? So, like goy tashich, it's like an order. To the goy, charge interest, Hashem says. Why? The different reason. Many times the Torah makes a separation between your relationship with your brothers, your family, all the Jewish nation, and to different nations. And it's nothing personal against the goy. It's just that what the Torah says, there's obligations that you have between you and your nation, but you don't have when you give with other one. By the way, you should know that sometimes it's very common problem that your friend wants a loan from you, and you don't want to give him a loan, or you don't have the money. So you tell him, listen, I'll let you use my credit card, and you just pay the loan, the bill, the interest. Whatever the bank charge, I don't want commission, I don't want to make money. Take $10,000 on my credit card, and you send them the monthly payment. That's also interest, not allowed. Because the bank doesn't know you, he knows the owner of the card. The bank only wants to give money to the owner of the card. So since the bank does not know who you are, and they obviously won't give you money, so it counts that they give the money to the owner of the card, and he gives you the money, you pay him the interest, and he takes the full interest and pay to the bank. It's enough that 1 second it was in his hand, even though he won't benefit from it. He's going to send it tomorrow to the bank. The fact that he was holding the interest 1 minute, that's already a violation of the Torah. You understand? So you have to be very careful with these kind of things. Mitzvah number 574, not to delay the contributions that you made to Bet HaMikdash. If a person made a contribution, a vow, that he has to pay X amount of money, not to let 3 festivals pass until he pays his due. His amount dues. For instance, a person says, I give $1,000 to the temple. It applies to shuls also. But we are now talking about Bet HaMikdash. So now he did it before Pesach. Now came Pesach. That's the first festival, the first holiday. Then came Shavuot. Then came Sukkot. By the end of Sukkot, it's already 3 holidays passed. Make sure you pay before the third one comes. The best is to pay an hour after Shabbat ended. That's the best way. That's a kosher person. You bought aliyah to the shul, an hour after Havdalah, Rabbi, where can I come give you the money, or the gabai? Not to wait even for tomorrow. That's a kosher Jew. Every other delay, no. You know, if you have the money, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Not only to the shul, even between 2 people. The due date came, don't wait a second. Just run and pay your bills. So, you know, especially when it's to a holy cause. What are you waiting? Some people wait. They donate on Yom Kippur. They pay 5 hours before Rosh Hashanah. They're afraid to enter Yom Adin. So that means if Rosh Hashanah wouldn't be, if Rosh Hashanah would be one every 10 years, you get their money in 10 years from now. Which means they show Hashem, I'm only giving it because I'm afraid to get a horrible year coming. I'm not really giving it because I want to give. I give it because I'm afraid you're going to judge my next year. You know I owe the shul $5,000. How would my try look that I owe you money and I didn't pay you? So he really only gives it just to save himself. This is a way, this is how you have to give donation. Shame on you if that's the case. Person has to do it right away. You cannot do it Motzei Shabbat, Sunday. Right away in the first opportunity. Mitzvah, and also you should know one more thing. People who owe money to an individual and the due date arrives and the person is demanding his money. Sometimes they say, okay, I'll give you extension, no problem. Could be a very rich man. With or without your $1,000, he sleeps well at night. So if he gives you the impression clearly that he doesn't mind, it's fine. You're not really violating anything. Especially if you apologize, give me 2 more months, give me 5 more months, fine. But if you know the person expects the money on a due date, especially some people are very yekes, it's not a money issue. It's the delay that drives them crazy. If you come 1 minute late to mincha, they're ready to kill you. It's in their genes. They can't, everything in their life is exactly like the German way. If it's not going to be this way, it drives them crazy. Which in my opinion, it's a mental disease. But besides the point, you understand, if somebody is like that, you don't want to mess with him with money because he's makpid his heart on you. So if the due date arrives, you must pay the money. If you don't have borrow from someone and pay him, because somebody like this will really suffer, can have billions, but he suffer that you're not paying him on time, even if it's $50. So you have to know, if somebody owe money, he cannot buy aliyot, he cannot donate money, he cannot do anything until he pays what he owes. I'm not talking mortgage. Mortgage is 30 years process, fine. or lease a car, or finance a car, that's a monthly payment, it's no problem. But you owe your friend, your cousin, your uncle, who knows who, and you owe him the money, and the due date arrives, from this moment on, you're not allowed to give $1 donations. It's mitzvah abba ba'avera. You don't give donations to help someone and make another Jew upset. You help Reuven and you deprive Shimon, so what's the point here? It's a very common thing. People owe money, then they come on Shabbat to the shul, they buy aliyot, and the person who owes him money is counting the minutes when he's going to pay me back, and he say, I don't have, business is bad, tight, I cannot pay my bills. The next day he comes to shul, 500. What's going on? So now he's thinking, well, I have 12 months until I pay it. So first I pay the guy, but that doesn't look good. Because the person say, look, he owe me money and he adds more to the bill now. First pay me, then you make contributions. This is a common mistake. You understand? You have to be clean. No? Don't let anyone be upset with you. I told you once the story with Rav Moshe Feinstein, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. In one of the lectures I said there was a catalog, a magazine, some kind of Torah magazine, that basically everything they did is smash his piskei halacha, everything against him. This, how did he say this? How did he say that? It seems that the only reason they opened that is to go and argue with everything he says. And they send it to him to his home every week or every month. I don't know if it was weekly or monthly. And after many times they send him a bill. He never ordered it. It's all against him. They send it to him to show him what they think about him. So he gets it to his home, then they send him a bill for a few months. So he called them up. He said, I don't remember ever ordering this from you. They say, well, we have a bill here. I don't know. I'm only working here. Okay, how much is the bill? Whatever it was. He said, okay, I'm sending you a check, but please put in your record that I do not want to receive it from now on. And he sent them the money. So his shamash asked him, Rabbi, this is the way of the Torah? Well, to let people steal from you? And you say, okay, here, come, steal. Well, I want to learn. He said, no, of course, I don't owe them the money. I could just ignore them. It's no problem. But I accepted on myself that I would not leave this world knowing there is one person who is angry about me for any reason, even if it's his fault. I want to be able to leave this world that no human being on earth has any complaint against me whatsoever. Worth it for me to pay, I don't know what it was, 100, 300, whatever it was, a membership, that nobody is upset at me for any reasons. You understand what it is? This is the greatness of a big tzaddik. Okay, mitzvah number 575, a person must keep what he says. Et motza sfatecha tishmor. What came out of your lips, what came out of your mouth, make sure you keep. Don't just talk. Some people, they talk. 5 minutes later, they don't even remember what they say. Because it's already habit. Just to talk, promise, yeah, sure, I'm coming, count on me, you can count. They have no intention. Today, people found a way to trick people in a kosher way, supposedly. So what is it? Everything. Are you coming? Bli neder. Yeah, I'm coming. Bli neder. Bli neder means of course not. So I don't say im neder, because you're not allowed to make nedarim, you know. But don't think that bli neder means, yeah, come, and in your mind you say, no, of course not. No. Bli neder means if God forbid something unexpected happen, it's not in your hand. No. Then don't hold me on my word, because I will do everything I can to come. But if you know you're not coming, don't say, yeah, bli neder. Say, no, I cannot come. Don't say, yeah, I'm coming. You're coming tomorrow, can we count on you for minyan? Sure. You already know Bechlal is going out of town. Well, there's no yirat shamayim. Not afraid, not embarrassed from Hashem. So that's what the Torah says. Someone who promise, who swear, who make a vow, or anything like that, the Torah says must keep what he promised. Kochol hayotze mipiv yaseh. Everything that came out of your mouth, you have to keep. Even if nobody comes with a gun to demand it from you. You have to do it. So next time you be careful what you say, what you promise, etc., etc. Mitzvah number 576, it's mitzvah to let the worker, sachir, who works for you, you know, based on hours, based on days. He gets paid based on how much time he works. You allow him to eat from certain things. For instance, if he cuts the fruit from the trees, right? Something that grows, for instance, in a vineyard or in a field or anything like that. Velo nigmera melachto, which means it wasn't already cut to transfer it to the market to sell it as business. It's not already in a situation that today you put it on a truck and they take it to the market and sell it wholesale. No. It means it's still growing on a tree. He's working, he's picking up, he's taking care of the trees, and he wants to eat some grapes or oranges. As a worker, is he allowed to eat from your field while he's working, or every time he wants to eat something, he has to tell you, sir, can I take a pound of grapes on my lunch? Yes, yes, no, no. Does he have to ask you, or it's already permitted automatically? What is it? So the answer is, it says like this, that Hashem wanted the boss to be generous with his workers, not to be stingy. And when you are generous with your worker, you don't lose. They'll give you double production or triple. You think by saving $1, $2 here and there in the salary and cheating them on a commission and choke them and every 5 minutes check with them, oh, this and that you're gaining, you're only losing. The nature of people with arguments and sour face, you don't get anything from them. The opposite, friendly, generosity, yeah, I want you to eat, I want you to be happy, even give him the $1 or $2 more an hour, in the long run, for sure you win, for sure. Most of these workers, when you choke them, in the end they steal from you. Because in their mind, the Yetzer Hara convinced them, my boss is a crook, he's paying me $8 an hour, worse than a slave from Africa. So, of course I'm allowed to steal from him an extra $4 or $5. That's the minimum wage. He's a crook. I don't have another job. But I'm sure when I come to Hashem, I'm going to say to Hashem, what do you expect me, to work for $8 an hour? Of course not. What? So I deserve to get at least what everyone else pay. But he has a mistake. Because whatever you agree to work for, that's what you get, even $1 an hour. Hashem doesn't care, minimum wage, what you agree, that's it. But because you did it, you ended up, he's going to steal the money from you anyway. And plus, he won't be nice to the customer. And when you're not there, who knows what damages he's going to make you. For sure, the money that you try to save on his salary, even if he's a non-Jew, doesn't matter. For sure. I remember when I moved, I had the moving company. There was about 5 or 6 workers, Spanish workers. They speak in Spanish. And I say to myself, what's better? That I wait until they work for the full day, until 2 o'clock at night, from early in the morning, until they pack everything, put in a truck, driving to the house, putting everything up, down, that I'll give them the tip by the end, like a fool, like most people do, or I come right away in the beginning of the job and tell them what I'm going to give them to make them happy. So I came right there in the morning, I say, who's in charge? These guys say, I'm the head of the crew. So listen, tell everyone, minimum tip, everyone for today, minimum $60, each one. That's besides maybe $150 that they make anyway. Plus, I give you lunch, cerveza, beer, I get you cold beer. Oh, you should see their face. I'm telling you, they work like machines. You move to a new house, you don't know where to put the things from the old house. While they're bringing it in, you have to decide where to put it. So, you go upstairs, big closet, oh, I'm sorry, mistake. No problem, no, senor, no problem. Why? He's happy. The worker is happy. You make him feel like a slave, he's going to kill you. As soon as you turn around, he's going to scratch the cabinet, make you $500 damage. What do you think? If you didn't realize it by now, maybe now you wake up. The hard way never works. That's the bottom line. So here the Torah say, yeah, he's allowed to eat, but he's not allowed to put in his basket and take home. While he's there, you want to eat? No problem, you eat. Once he was packed and he's ready to be shipped to the market, whatever, he cannot touch anymore. But as long as it doesn't materialize to money, you want to cut from the tree while you're working, the Torah gave permission to the worker to do. But the Torah say, don't put into your basket. Mitzvah number 577, that the worker will not take with the, will not, the Torah says like this, לא יניף חרמש בקמת חברו, that you don't take from the field of your friend without permission, which means the Torah says you're allowed to eat what you want while you're there, but if you want to take and go with that somewhere else, then you're not allowed. Then it's become like business. You take and you take to other place, not allowed. Today, don't learn from this if you work for someone in a restaurant. It's not the same rules. You don't have permission to touch anything, nothing whatsoever. You have to ask your boss the day you start to work or any time later, do you give me permission to eat here, yes or no? You don't be a fool. The boss doesn't want you to work for him in a restaurant. He pay you $10 or $12 an hour, and he wants you to eat 3 steaks a day. It costs him $10 each piece. Wholesale. What do you think? It's expensive. Glad kosher steak, it's expensive. So he wants to eat steak for morning, steak for the afternoon, steak for the night, 5 different drinks, $40 out of the boss pocket every day for his food. I'm working here, I'm allowed, no? The Torah say you're allowed to eat from the fruit, no? No. Over here, it's something, the food, this doesn't cost the boss anything. Still, he can make money of it, but the Torah allow. But if you come, he orders something, he pay, and you touch it, it's pure stealing. So you have to tell him, please tell me what I'm allowed to eat from, what I'm not allowed. I'm allowed to use the phone? If yes, with limit, without limit, in America, out of America. Everything you need to know, you have to clarify. Everything that is not clear and you assume is okay, it's pure stealing. Safek d'oraita lechumra. When a person has a doubt, when it comes to stealing, he's not allowed to touch. If you don't know if it's yours or not, you cannot touch. Maybe it belongs to somebody else. Why are you taking a risk? You want to be a thief, live this world with something that doesn't belong to you. So usually when a boss sees that the worker come and say to him, boss, what am I allowed to eat? I'm allowed to eat pita, I'm allowed to take the leftover homes. Sometimes you think, anyway, throwing it to the garbage. So what's the point? As long as it did not go to the garbage, you're not allowed to take it. If the guy put it in the garbage bag, is on a way out to throw it, you can take it without permission. Once it left the store, that's it, it's hefker. But one is still in his territory, you don't know what, maybe he's giving it to the poor people, maybe he gets something in return, maybe he give it to somebody and tomorrow that somebody give him a free car wash. How do you know? It looks like garbage, but you're not allowed to assume. You tell me, am I allowed to take the bagels that left here? Am I allowed to take the cakes in the bakery, what you're about to throw? If something is already not so fresh, am I allowed to take? Not allowed. Everything has to be cleared. Mitzvah number 770, what did we say before? 78. 778. 578, I'm sorry, 578. Before I said that a person is not allowed to take his basket and go with that out of the work. Now it says that not to eat something even in the same place after the job is finished, which means all the grapes or whatever, the apples are finished to be cut and sold to the market. They put it in a box, it's ready to be shipped, and now you want to come and take from it. Not allowed anymore. While it was connected, you're working, you can pick up and eat. Once nigmera melachto, that's it, it's already isolated in order for the owner to sell it, then you cannot touch from it anymore. Mitzvah number is 579. Someone who, God forbid, wants to divorce his wife, he has to do it in a legal way. How do you do it? You go to the Jewish Beit Din when the rabbi sits. After they try to make peace between you and your wife, and they tried, and of course, unfortunately, your ego didn't let you change your attitude, and in the end, you still want to get divorced. So they have to bring somebody, a sofer, and he writes a get. They write exactly. And once the get is served to the hand of the woman, she receives it to her hand. The minute she grabs it, she's a divorced woman. Before it arrives to her hand, no man can touch her fingers. Even when she got the get, for 3 months she cannot marry. Why? Maybe he left her pregnant, and they don't know. If she married tomorrow to somebody else, 3 months later she has a stomach, they won't know if the baby belongs to the ex-husband or to the new husband. And don't tell me DNA, because when the Torah was given, there was no DNA, and we don't have permission to modify the Torah. We are not reforms. Even if you see in a camera somebody murder another person, but there was no 2 witnesses, we cannot convict him. Why? The Torah says, Al pi shnei edim yakum davar, that's it. We do not change one little tiny law in the Torah. Why? If you start to change, 6 months later the Torah is finished. Judaism is over. That's what happened to the Reform and Conservative. They changed minor things in the beginning. And today they marry man to man and a Jew to Christine. Yeah, that's what they do. Why they do it? In the beginning they never dreamed to do it. Because every generation cut more. Oh, my grandfather was a rabbi. He cut that. It's not relevant. That's not relevant. That's not relevant. That's not relevant. That's not. You have a camera today. You don't need witnesses. Today this, that. In the end, nothing left. Nothing left. That's the nature of people. Mitzvah number 580. If a person divorced his wife, if they change their mind after a while, they can get back together. But if she married another man, got divorced again, and now her first husband wants to get her back, it's not allowed. If she was married to Reuven, they got divorced. She went and married Shimon, got divorced. She want to return now to Reuven, not allowed. If she divorced Reuven, and Reuven is a Kohen, is not allowed to bring her back. Kohen, finished. Even your own ex-wife, you cannot bring her back. Cannot marry a divorced woman, even if she's divorced from you. But if she went and had a sin with another guy, without marriage, and now, I don't know, 2 months later, she changed her mind, she want to go back to her husband, he's allowed to take her back. He may be a fool that he agreed to do it, but if he did it, you cannot do anything against it. But if she officially married another guy, that's it. By the day that she married the second guy, she knows, I will never be able to return back to my first husband. Done deal. Mitzvah number 581. When a husband marries his wife, now the first year begin. First year of the marriage have special rules apply. In today, you got married yesterday, you don't bring for 1 year any guest to sleep in your house. Don't invite tons of guests unless if your wife demanded. She may not be ready now, 2 weeks after the marriage, to start having Shabbatonim, 50 uncles and cousins of yours that came from Israel. No. And first you have to be with her, you cannot go with your friends, you cannot take business trips, nothing. You got to be with your wife and make her happy. That's what the Torah says. You have to build the relationship that the rest of the years will be blessed. If in the beginning you don't establish good connection, the Torah says, don't expect to be married with happiness. So the Torah says, Naki yele beto, is dismissed from the army. There's a big war. You don't accept him as a soldier. He wants to volunteer, go back to your wife. You just got married. Or if you build a house, you just build a nice house and didn't make Chanukat Habayit, didn't move in, and the war start. Also they send him home. Why? His mind is in a house, not in a war. He will be weak and other soldiers will die because of him. You understand? So there are certain rules that the Torah say you are dismissed from the army. Over here, we're not talking about the army only. We're talking now not to disturb the groom for 1 year after the date of his marriage. For 1 year, you don't disturb him in any kinds of services to the nation. He has to be with his wife. It's a holy mission now to establish his home, to show us how important is peace in the family, in the Torah. Mitzvah number 582, that now, up to now, first, the mitzvah I just read to you was a restriction. Don't take the groom out of his home for 1 year to any services. So that's a love, that's a restriction. Now the same transaction in a positive speaking. Mitzvah that the Chatan, the groom, will make his wife happy for the first year, Shana Rishona, extra than the rest of the years. First year is mandatory in a much higher level. שלא ייסע מחוץ לעיר, don't go far away, don't go to the war, don't go to all kinds of things. ישב עמה שנה שלמה מיום הנישואים. Will sit with her full year from the time of the marriage. That's what the Torah say in Deuteronomy 24 verse 5. נקי יהיה לביתו שנה אחת ושימח את אשתו אשר לקח. Will be clean to his home, will be available, that's what it means, will be available to his home, and will make his wife happy. The wife that he married will make her happy. A wife is not happy when the husband go to baseball games every 2 days with his friends, or when he stay in the office until 11 and come home, sleep, and get up 7 and leave. That's not marriage. You gotta leave some time for your family. And when you have children, even more. But this is mandatory. Mitzvah number 583, not to ruin or to defect any tools that you make your food with. Not only you're not allowed to throw bread, to throw food, which is bal tashchit. It's waste of food and waste of money, and Hashem doesn't like people that do it. The tools, the knives, the mixer, the plates, the things that you use to make the food, as primitive as it may be, it could be $1 each. It doesn't have to be millions of dollars here. Breaking it, disrespecting those tools that make your food, it's a sin from the Torah, just like eating pork. Did you know? Almost nobody knows this mitzvah. Ask 99% of the religious people in the streets if they heard about this mitzvah before. Almost nobody knows. You take a piece of something that you make your food with, and you throw it or you use it for bad things, it's disrespecting it. Like the grinder, klei tchina, klei lisha, that you make the dough with, klei bishul, klei shchita, the knives that you slaughter, the sheep, whatever, to make yourself meat. Any one of them, not only you're not allowed to disrespect them, if you want to give it as collateral, you want to take a loan from someone with no interest. You say, what's my security? Tell them I'll give you my mixer, the one I make my dough with. It's $300. Here, give me $100, keep the mixer by you, and give me $100 loan. Next week, when I give it to you, give me back the mixer. The Torah says, שנמנענו מלמשכן הכלים. Not allowed to give it as collateral. על זה נאמר, לא יחבול רחיים ורחב, כי נפש הוא חובל. This is like spilling blood. Why? Because the food creates blood. And without those tools, there is no food. So that means it's already a tool that is responsible to create the blood and to give you life here. This is how far gratefulness goes. Don't be ungrateful to something that makes your food. You understand? Mitzvah number 584, not if a person has leprosy and some of the hair who grows change the color, and it has to be evaluated by a Kohen. The Kohen has to see it, and the Kohen has to decide if to put him in isolation for 1 week or not. And based on this hair and the change in the color, the Kohen knows what kind of leprosy is that. It's a specialty. So the person doesn't want to leave work now, doesn't want to leave his wife, so he shave it, cut it. All the bad negaim, he takes the hair off. Why? To fool the Kohen. It's a sin from the Torah. Torah had to, well, after that, if it's not a sin, everyone will remove it, Kohen. You see? Plus, people are very embarrassed. Because when it happens, it's a sign that you spoke Lashon Hara about somebody. Why it grow in your hand? Today we don't have the merit to have such clear miracles. But in their days, it was every day. You spoke Lashon Hara, 10 minutes later, it's in the walls of your house. Next time you speak, it's in the clothing. Third time you speak, goes on your skin. So now you're trying to avoid the problem by eliminating the evidence. You're trying to go around? No, my friend. Deal with what you deserve to get. That's why you're not allowed to shave it. Mitzvah number 585, לא למשכן בעל חוב בזרוע. Somebody owe you money, don't send him your Russian gangster. Aye. My name is Alex. I came to chop your head off. You owe money to my boss. Or you just stand by him, make him scared. Don't do it. We are not mafia. The Torah didn't tell the Jews, be an Italian mafioso. No, that's not what you came to the world. You have problems with money, there's ways to handle it. That's why you have Bedin, you bring witnesses, you bring your note. Let the Bedin take care of the problem. Oh, Rabbi, it's going to take 1 year, I don't have time. There is rules. You don't do what you want. What is this? Not only you're not allowed to send him a gangster, you're not allowed to walk near him to make him feel uncomfortable. When a person owes you money, you see him coming on the street, cross the street to the other side. If you know his store is over there, go from a different street. Why? He's embarrassed. But if he's a person who is already known as a crook, that take money from everyone and don't pay, then it's allowed. They asked the Ben Ish Chai 100 years ago, someone who doesn't pay his bills. He borrow money and doesn't pay. Lover rasha velo yishalem, the Torah say. People who borrow and don't pay back, Hashem stamp on them wicked. But he shomer Shabbat, doesn't matter, wicked. He gives tzedakah, he has guests in his house, doesn't matter, wicked. Could be a good husband, wicked. Learn Torah for a day, wicked. Borrow and don't pay back, wicked. All his life learn Torah, won't help him, it's rasha. If you learn Torah, you have to pay back what you owe. Stealing money from people is stealing their soul, stealing their blood. Damim, money in Hebrew means blood. Blood and money is the same word, damim, dam, blood. That's what the Torah, Dmei Chanukah. You give the children Dmei Chanukah, bloods of Chanukah. Not bloods, money you give them. Blood and money, the same thing in the eyes of God. You steal from someone, even from a goy. Even from a goy, you are 100% guilty. So they asked the Ben Ish Chai, somebody owe money and play games. Play games. If he's allowed to take a gangster that will sit next to him by the shul and intimidate him in the middle of the Yom Tov. Yes, everywhere you go, you have guests, your uncle, your cousin, your parents come to you for Pesach. You go to the shul, one gorilla is coming next to you. Yes, I'm Vladimir. I have to sit next to you and make sure you don't run. Everywhere you go, he wants to kill you. This 7 feet tall, muscular, like this, comes like this. As soon as you see him, you get already half a heart attack you get. Everywhere you go, now you go to your home, he stands by your door like this. Everyone looks, it's a big embarrassment. Of course, he's going to pay back the money to avoid this. They ask if he's allowed to do. But that's only if he's a well-known crook, that he was convicted and everybody knows about him, that this is his trick. A person borrow money and unfortunately cannot pay back, not allowed to even walk near him. Mitzvah number 586. If the poor person gave you something in collateral in order for him to get a loan from you, for instance, he gave you his long coat, freezing weather outside. And he comes to you and says, sir, I know you gave me a loan, but I really need my coat. I'm freezing. That's the mashkon I gave you. Can you give it to me? So what are you going to say? What, are you fooling me or what? Why did I take it for? To protect my loan. When you get the money, you get back your coat. Or he has a donkey. And you know he works with this donkey. He goes to the market, buy vegetable, bring it, delivery. That's how they used to do. And he comes to you and says, listen, without the donkey, I cannot make money. Can you lend me the donkey? I'll bring it back to you at night. Let me work. So the answer is, you have to give him. You know, if he needs it, bring it to him, give it to him in a day, and he will return it to you at night. Right? Why? Because you're preventing him from having income. What was the whole purpose of lending money to a poor? To help him to get out of his situation. Giving him money and take away his car that is a taxi driver. So what did you do by that? So give it to him during the day. At night he parks it in your driveway. You hold the title or whatever, but let him at least use it. Or anything that he needs for his job, right? Mitzvah number 588, pay the workers on time. If you have to pay them by tonight, if you don't pay on time, you send them home without their money, every second is 3 sins from the Torah. Different kinds of sin. ביומות תיתן שכרו is one of them. לא יאחר לו שכרו ליום אחר. Do not delay his payment, unless if you tell them, hey, listen, Johnny, I know I have to pay you the salary today, but I ran short of cash. Do you mind waiting a day or two? Oh, no problem, senor, boss, you're good boss, no problem, no problem. No problem, no problem, we agree, fine. But if you have to pay him, and especially if he's poor, and you don't pay him on time, and you have the money, you just don't want to go to the bank or whatever, you have your own reasons, you have to know one thing. If a person accepts Shabbat early in the summer, Shabbat start 8:30, but 7 o'clock he go pray Mincha, which means 7:30 is already Shabbos. He said Kabbalat Shabbat. 1 hour before the time. It's light outside. People still driving, going to the mikveh, coming back. But for you it's Shabbat. And then you remember you didn't pay the salary to the boss. It's Friday night. You're supposed to give it to him 5 o'clock. You ran late. You didn't get to the business. He left already. You have to drive now and pay him back the money. But it's Shabbat for you. So you have to take someone who is not Shabbat for him, anyone from the neighborhood, pay him for the efforts, run quickly to this address, pay the money to the worker before Shabbat, because after that I'm not going to be able to find him. And if all the Jews in your area already accepted Shabbat, you have to find a goy to get the money and send it. Why? Because once you're not going to pay it, by the end of Shabbat you're going to have so many sins of not paying the worker on time. So that's a problem. The Torah says, even a goy that lives in Israel, non-Jew, but lives in Israel, and he works for you, you must pay him on time. Do not tell him, come back tomorrow. Not like today. You come, you work, they fire you after a week, a day before the salary. So you say, okay, so give me the 6 days I work. It's not a payday today. Come tomorrow. The secretary will be here. And then it begins. 1 day, 5 days, 10 days, 20 days. Call, the boss is not here. He went away. Call back next Tuesday. They think that they're hurting him. If they only knew how many sins they accumulate, believe me, they'll run after him. Come take your money before you leave. Because by the time I'll pay you, I'm going to already have 1 million sins. And every one of them will be a very painful payment. For everyone. Multiply by millions. Because Hashem cannot tolerate crooks. That's the first thing. You want to be a kosher person, your hands must be clean. Where does it say it in the Torah? Mi ya'aleh be'ar Hashem. Who will climb to the mountain of God? Neki chapayim uvar levav. Someone that his hands and his heart is clean from stealing. Otherwise, forget about heaven. You're not going there. You owe $100 in your life and you died. You cannot enter heaven. You must come back in Gilgul to return it. Many of the sins, a person can go to Gehenom, erase it, and go to heaven. Stealing, even in hell, you cannot erase. You must come back to this physical world in another body and return the money. If people only knew it. Mitzvah number 589, that a relative, your brother, your father, cannot testify in your case in a Jewish court. Any one of the relatives is not objective. He cannot see the truth. Even if he's a very honest man who never said a lie in his life. When he sees that he has to testify in a trial of his brother, he sees the truth in a different way. Not that he's lying. He thinks, that's what I saw. Why? Because in his subconscious, his mind doesn't let him say something against someone he loves. So the Torah says, that's why your brother cannot even sign on your ketubah when you get married. They have to get two witnesses that are not relatives. This is mitzvah, that was mitzvah number 589. Mitzvah 590. Mitzvah number 590, that a person, judge, cannot twist the judgment of a convert or an orphan, he has to be very careful. If you judge not fairly a convert or an orphan, you have to judge every human being honestly. Jew, non-Jew, of course. But over here it's an additional punishment. If you judge and you didn't judge two individuals fairly, it's a sin. But if one of them was also a convert, it's a double sin. Or if it's an orphan. We're not talking he's 50 years old and his parents died. That's not an orphan. Of course, almost every 50, his parents are not here already. They were in the 80s. We are talking, 16, 14, 12, 10, 5, 3, whatever, little kids. And then the parents die, they're orphans, they get to a certain age. You have to judge, they owe money, they have to get money, and you go to the other side, non-fairly. You have a double problem that it was just a regular person. Mitzvah number 591, not to collect collateral from a widow. If a widow owe you money, you come, you say, okay, let me take your couch until you pay back the money. If it was a regular person, you say, okay, you owe me this money. You want me to sleep well at night, not to bother you? Give me something that's worth the amount. When you get the money, I'll give it back to you. Give me a watch. You have a $5,000. Give me the watch. You pay me back the $1,000, I'll give you back the watch. Nothing is bad about it if it's a regular person. But if it's a widow, even rich widow, husband was a billionaire, rich widow, it says, listen, you owe me money, give me your diamond rings. When you pay the money, I'll give them back to you, not allowed. Look how much feelings God has for the miserable people. Who are the miserable people? Orphans, we understand. Orphan is lonely, one of his parents or both of them died. His situation is very, very bad. Widow, same thing, could be a rich widow, even the queen. Doesn't matter, she lost her husband, so her life is not the same. And a convert. Convert, he left his family, he lost all his relatives, all his friends, he come to a different place, different language, different mentality, he's alone, there's nobody to count on, he doesn't have security, and now you come and give him hard time? Oh, you don't want to do that. Mitzvah number 592, when you cut the wheat or the barley, you make bundles. Some of them falls from the piles. They fall off when you collect it. You're not allowed to return and collect it. You have to leave it over there. Whatever you forgot, don't return to take. Leave it for the poor people. It's called mitzvah la'aniach omrei hashichecha. Whatever you did not collect in the end of the cutting day, leave the bundles over there. ליתום, לאלמנה, לגר, ליתום ולאלמנה יהיה. Leave it for the converts, leave it for the orphans, leave it for the widows to come and take. Right? Why? Because they depend on this food. They don't have a father to feed the family anymore. So how are they going to get food from? So they come and they collect the leftover from the field. Mitzvah number 593, okay, now we spoke about the grains. Now we're talking about fruit from the trees. Fruit from the trees, bundles of them that you forgot. ושכחת עומר בשדה לא תשוב לקחתו. You made piles of the fruit that you collect, you made piles. And you collect 99 piles, one of them you left. And then, oh, we're missing. Let me go get it. No, my friend, you left the field, you left it over there. Hashem made you forget. Leave it for them. Let them come take it. Mitzvah number 594, to whip the wicked people with a whip in a Jewish court when they deserve to get whipped. But before you do it, you have to take a doctor to examine their physical condition. Young and strong, he has to get the whole 39. Old, weak, sick, all kinds of problems. The doctor has to evaluate him. And the doctor writes, according to the test, this person can get maximum 3 times. But he deserves 39. But the Torah doesn't want him to die. Torah wanted to give him a humiliating punishment, also physical pain, but mainly the humiliation that they whip him out, like they do today in Singapore. That's why in Singapore you don't find one cigarette on the floor or any kind of dirt. and no graffiti on the walls. Nobody. The street is cleaner than your home here. Why? If they do it, they're going to whip them with a whip. In front of everyone. It's a big embarrassment. I think they do it in Thailand also, in some places. They learn from the Torah, where the idea came from. That's what I always said. Sometimes what doesn't come through talking, comes through the legs, like they say in the Israeli army. מה שלא בא דרך הראש, בא דרך הרגליים. What doesn't come through the head, comes through the legs. When I talk to you, in 1 second you're supposed to get the point. The commander say to his soldier, oh, you don't get it? You'll get it through your legs, which means I'm going to make you run 2 hours up the hill in the desert. Tomorrow you already understand the orders. After once or twice, believe me, every soldier understand. They say 9:07, everyone stand on line, everyone ready. 9:06, everyone is there already. Even with the shoes in their hands. Why? Last night I ran from 2 to 4. Everyone was snoring and I ran up to 4 o'clock. Believe me, one time I got the point. Why didn't you get the point when the commander told you nicely? That's the nature of people. If Hashem say to do something, who's Hashem? After the Bedin give you some punches with the whip, you get the point. That's it, you become a tzaddik. So the whip is the greatest thing who can happen to you. Why? It made you a righteous person. Thanks to that, you have billions of years of eternity full of pleasure. If you wouldn't get it, who knows what would come out of you? Right or wrong? That's why people slow down on the highways. They know police are hiding. In Israel, they have cameras. Camera can be anywhere. It's a problem. Mitzvah number 595, not to give extra patch to a person more than what the Torah allowed. 39. You get 40, it's already a problem. You can be a murderer already. You're not allowed to give him extra one. Right? Or if the doctor say 3 or 5 or 10 or 13, and you get 14, extra one, more than what the doctor say, you risk his life already. What a job. Who wants to work in such a job? To work in a Bedin, to be the one who whip people. It's a horrible job. But actually you're doing him a favor. Because you make his Yetzer Hara, his evil inclination, surrender. And you always have to remember, don't be impressed by what the psychologists and psychiatrists and all the educational people saying today in the world. They don't know anything compared to God. If God said that's what you have to do to the wicked people or people who rebel against the truth, that's the most productive way to influence people to return from their evil way. Why? How do I know? Because Hashem said it. He made us, yes. He made our evil inclination, yes. He gave us all the things that sometimes we want to rebel, yeah. He knows what's the medicine for it, of course. If he doesn't know, who knows? If we told you that's the way, that's the way. Mitzvah number 596. Not to block an animal while it's walking. The animal is walking and working, you know, and the animal wants to eat. Let's say you connected an ox to the plow, and it plows the field. It makes lines, and then you come with the seed and throw them in the holes, right? So now the animal, while he's walking, he saw some straw on the floor. He wants to eat, he's hungry. So you bend down, he wants to eat, and you push him. Move! There's no time for it now. It's a sin from the Torah. From the Torah! The animal stopped, and he wants to eat. You let the animal eat, and that's it. It's called Lo Tachsom Shor Bedisho. Where is it? Deuteronomy 25, verse 4. Mitzvah number 597, that, God forbid, if your husband died and he left no children with his wife, got married and died. The wife can never get married until she either have marriage with the brother, one of the brothers, or she get chalitza. They go to Beit Din, you know, the brother takes his shoe off, she spit on the shoe, they announce this is what a person who didn't want to have children for his brother deserved to get. It's a little bit embarrassing situation. Then she's permitted to go and get married. But if she agree that the brother of her husband will marry her, so she moved in with him, because a man is allowed to have more than one wife, even if he has his own wife. If everyone agree, he goes with her, she goes with him, he inherits everything that his brother left. Today, nobody does yevum in the world, because people are not clean in their mind like they used to be. Today, people are getting together, male and female, for different reasons, not for pure reason like it was in the time of the Torah. So therefore, today it's forbidden. Today only chalitza. If chas v'shalom your brother died and he left no children, his wife can never get married before she goes with you to any Jewish Beit Din, Orthodox, and you take off your shoe, she spit on the shoe, and they release, the Beit Din gives her a note, and she can now go and get married. If she didn't do it and she got married, it's a sin from the Torah. She has a problem. Now, what is this mitzvah? The Torah say that she is not allowed to marry any person except the brother, one of the brother of her husband. If the oldest one doesn't want, they go to the next one, the next one. One of them has to agree. None of them want, they have to give a chalitza.
If he don't have a brother? And if he don't have a brother?
If he doesn't have a brother, that's it, she's released. That's it. Mitzvah number 598, it's the mitzvah of Yibum, which I just explained. Before it was the widow are not allowed to go and get married to a stranger before she get the permission from her brother-in-law by giving her chalitza, or to marry him and have Yibum. Now it's mitzvah for the brother of the deceased brother to marry the wife of his deceased brother and have children with her. And the boy that is born is named after his brother that died, and that's called a perfect mitzvah, that now the brother who died has descendants that belongs to him, that it's like continuing his genealogy. So that's mitzvah Yevum. As I say, today does not apply. No one is allowed to do Yevum anymore. Only chalitza. Mitzvah number 599, it's the mitzvah of chalitza. If the wife of your chas v'shalom deceased brother doesn't want you to marry her, or you don't want her for different reason, which means there's no mutual consent here, what happened in that case? You have to take off your shoe, she spit on it, the Beit Din allow her, and she go and get married. That's called mitzvah chalitza. Chalitza, it means like taking off the shoe. Choletz na'alav in Hebrew until today. Lachlotz means to take out. So this is the mitzvah from the Torah that is the opposite of Yevum. Mitzvah number 600, mitzvah to save a person who runs away from another Jew. Reuven runs after Shimon. You don't know them. Or you may know Reuven, but you don't know now Shimon is running. You don't know what he did. Maybe it's fair that he runs after him. Maybe he did a horrible thing. Maybe he tried to catch him. Maybe he's guilty. Maybe he's not guilty. Whatever the case is. You see one Jew run after the other. You have to scream to him to stop. You have to do everything you can to stop him without killing him. If you're a strong guy, so you stand in between and you block his way. If you're not so strong, he's much stronger than you, then if you can push him, or if you can get other people to help you to block him, or if you can get the one who runs away to get into your house and you lock the door, or in your car and you lock the door, or any way you can save him, you must do it. If you cannot stop him, then if you have a gun, you're allowed to shoot him in his legs, wound him. If it's still not stopping, then you even kill him. If you kill him, you're innocent. Even if later they will prove in a court that the rabbi was running after a murderer to catch him. You're not a prophet. You didn't have a way to know. You gave him a warning to stop. Stop or I shoot, like they do today. Stop or I shoot, stop or I shoot. That's it. And that's called להרציל את הנרדף. It's like din rodef. Someone is running after another person. Now you have, it's an emergency, you have to protect the person who runs away. Later, after you protected him, the police come. Where is the guy you protected? I'm hiding him in my bedroom. Give him to us. He's a big criminal. No problem. It's not a problem. You did not interfere with justice. You just did what the Torah says. There's no way to investigate. Excuse me, sir, why are you running after him? By the time you find out, he'll be dead. Mitzvah number 601, not to have mercy on the rodef, the one who runs after another person. If you saw that you did everything you can to stop and you couldn't, and now you have to kill him, and your heart doesn't let you, because you say, how will I kill this person? Maybe he's innocent. You almost faint from the fear. How can I kill a person? Maybe he's right. Maybe there's a reason why he's right. You're not allowed to have mercy on him. Remember, even if later you find out you kill an innocent person, the Torah told you to do it. Why? The Torah said to protect the nirdaf, the fugitive, the ones who runs. Mitzvah number 602, not to have weights, fake weights in your possession. If you're a business owner and you weigh things on your scale, anything, can be gold, can be silver, can be vegetables, anything that needs to be weighed. Until today, in primitive countries and even some advanced country, like Israel, you go to buy vegetable, they have weights. 1 kilo, half a kilo, quarter kilo. You say to him, give me a kilo of cucumbers. He put 10 on one side. He takes the weight of the 1 kilo. He puts on the other side. If it's balanced, that's a kilo. Some places already moved to electronic scales, but that's usually for cold cuts, for cheese. But for vegetables in the market, until today, one weight, right away, it's the fastest way, right away, because they know nobody cares about 2-3 grams. So it's really quickly, it's been done. The question is, what happens if a person's starting to think, how do I cheat my customers? Instead of having a 1 kilo weight, I'm going to have one that looks the same size, but it's only 800 grams, not 1,000 grams. The customer won't know. So instead of giving him 10 cucumbers, I only give him 8. Multiply by 1,000 customers a month, it's 2,000 cucumbers in my pocket, or whatever it is. Now what happens if he never used the weight? It's only on a shelf or in his pocket. Just that he gets to your possession, which means you own it, or it's in your place, or even you borrow it, but you have now the ability to use it to cheat. From the minute you have possession on it, it's already a sin from the Torah. Not when you use it. When you use it, it's few more sins. Just when you have possession on it, an extra fake way, or scale, or fake scale that automatically add more to the weight, or anything like that, that's already a sin. Why? You're opening a door for the evil inclination to work. Not allowed. Mitzvah number 603. To remember what Amalek did to the nation of Israel as they came out of Egypt. Zachor et asher asa lecha Amalek, the Torah says. Right? The Torah says there's one nation that God hates the most. Who is it? The nation of Amalek. Why? The bunch of cowards. They always come when you're not ready. When you're on the road, they attack you from the back. Like cowards. Like the Hezbollah. Hiding under the ground, coming out, shooting a missile on an innocent citizen, and running right away into their cage under the ground. Right? They never come face to face to fight. They only come out from under the ground, shoot few rockets, and run and hide inside. You understand? This is cowards. In the days of the Torah, it was Amalek like this. So Hashem say, I never forgive this nation Amalek. There's mitzvah to clean them from the face of the earth. Until they would live in this world, the name of Hashem, supposedly, it's not complete. Hashem swore, we won't get to the ultimate situation until this nation will be clean from the earth. Even when we say Amen Yesh Merabah, if you see there's all kinds of kavanot to have in mind to erase the memory of Amalek. But here we are talking now to remember all the bad that Amalek did to us. The next mitzvah, which is 604, is to destroy any memory from this Amalek, anyone. Why today we don't do it? In a way we're lucky. Because if we knew today which guy is Amalek, we wouldn't allow to let him breathe another minute. We must kill him. What would happen if you kill him? You walk on the street, on Main Street, and you see somebody and you know 100% is Amalek. You have to kill him immediately. What happens if you kill him? You go to jail for 40 years. Or you get the electric chair. So Hashem knew it's an impossible mitzvah for us to keep. So at one point in time, he mixed all the nations. Like this, we don't know who is a good Gentile, who is a bad one. Who is from Amalek, who is from Ishmael, who is from Esav, who is from the good Goyim. Nobody, we don't know anymore. Every Arab you see, there's no guarantee is Ishmael. Most likely, but no guarantee. Every European you see, no guarantee is Esav or is Amalek. You don't know, it could be Ishmael. Maybe his grandfather went from Syria to France and became French. You don't know anything anymore. But we believe, we have many reasons to believe that Amalek is somewhere in Germany, Russia, France, those areas. Most of them are in that area, the descendants of Esav, Italy. But we don't know for sure. That's why since we have a doubt, we cannot kill innocent person. If you have 1% doubt if he's Amalek or not, you cannot kill him. How can you kill him? Maybe he's a righteous Gentile. You cannot touch him. So this mitzvah is dismissed until Mashiach come. But just to show us how much God hates these people. For what? From always attacking his children when they're on the road, waiting for them in the desert, hiding. They come, boom, they come, innocent women, children. They don't care. They kill everyone. Mitzvah number 605, 3 mitzvot just about Amalek. Look, from the 613. Not to ever forget what Amalek did to our parents in the exodus of Egypt. Before I said to remember what Amalek did to us. Now I said not to forget what Amalek did to us. It's exactly the same thing. Why God spoke in a restriction and then in a positive commandment, but the same transaction, to double the punishment. Yeah, to show you how important it is. Same transaction, 2 mitzvot. So really it's 3. It's 3. One is to remember the bad they did. One is not to forget the bad they did. And one is to clean them from the face of the earth, which is all connected. 3 for one thing, which is the Amalek. Mitzvah number 606. Mitzvat kriya ala bikurim. When a person brings the first fruit, the best fruit that ripe on his trees, he pick them, he put them in a nice basket, bring it to Jerusalem in the time of the temple and give it to the Kohanim. It's not enough. Rabbis, Mr. Cohens, all the gentlemen, please, I brought you my best fruit. No. He has to read few verses from the Torah to make it complete, the mitzvah. So what does it say? It starts, Arami Oved Avi. Who is this? Lavan Arami, the father-in-law of Yaakov Avinu, that cheated him, gave him Leah first, then Rachel, then another 6 years he worked for him. 20 years he took advantage on him. Then after Jacob escaped, he followed him, he wanted to kill him. God came to him in a dream, warned him, don't touch him, be careful. So Chazal say, Bikesh Lavan la'akor et hakol. If Lavan would kill Yaakov, it wouldn't be the Jewish nation, because Yaakov became Israel. This is what we say in the Haggadah of Pesach. When we go in Leila Seder, we say, Bikesh Lavan la'akor et hakol. Not everybody understands why Lavan was trying to destroy us. Destroyed our father, destroyed all of us. So it says, so this, it begins over there. This is Deuteronomy 26, verse A. It says like this, Eveti et reshit pri ha'adama asher natata li Hashem. I brought the first fruit who came out of my land that you gave me, God. I brought it. No. And then it says, Va'anita va'amarta lifnei Hashem Elokecha. You answer and you say in front of your God. And that's called the mitzvah of kriya of the bikurim, which means you have to make an announcement. Why it's so important to make an announcement? It's not enough that I bring donation. I have to scream, Rabbi, I brought donation as Hashem told me. Here. What is it? When a person speaks, it's much more effective. The effect that he has on you. For instance, if you learn Torah and you just think about what you read, you don't say it in your mouth, an hour later you don't remember anything. When it comes out of your mouth or you teach to somebody, the chance that you remember it is hundreds of % higher. Even if you're alone in a Bet Midrash, in a yeshiva, don't read to yourself. Read loud. Sometimes you come into synagogue, you see some chassid sit there and scream what he reads. It's not crazy. He knows that when you say it loud, it's recorded in your conscience. And if you play music, then the chances that you remember it is thousands of % higher. That's how they teach the kids. Kids in Israel, 11 years old, they know the whole Chumash by heart. In my own eyes I saw. They teach it to them as a song. The whole Torah, 304,805 letters, 11 years old, they say the whole parashot by heart. Everything. The smart kids. Other ones, it takes them maybe extra few years. 11 years old. They play Bereshit, Bara Eloki, everything. They sing the whole thing. You know? So, mitzvah, just because of the music. I see it my children. When he wants to read to me the parasha, if I tell him don't sing, just read, he gets confused. But when he sing, it's already like knowing a song. You know the words. If you tell him read without singing, he starts getting confused. So singing, it's in his memory already. Very beautiful. That's what, by the way, the last mitzvah where we're going to get soon, and we do a siyum, it's that to write the Torah for every Jew. It's kitvu lachem et divrei hashira azot. Hashem called this Torah a song. Shira means singing. Write to you this song that I gave you, which hinting to us, learn it like it's a song. Be happy, sing it, you'll never forget it. Mitzvah number 607, mitzvat vidui maaser. Confession, when a person gives maaser, he has to confess. What's the confession? I clean my possession from all the maaser that I'm due. I have to give 10%. So Hashem, I promise, he sent to the Kohanim, all the maasrot that I owe, I brought. Why he has to declare? For the same reason I said before. When a person comes, if a person has to give 10% of his income to his rabbi, that's the arrangement. He comes to the rabbi and give him a check or cash. Rabbi, this is here. He doesn't say anything. When he doesn't say anything, he puts it in the envelope, he gives it to him. It's easy to cheat. He thinks he's cheating the rabbi, but he's really cheating Hashem, and Hashem, you cannot cheat him, because you have to give maaser. So when he comes to the rabbi, if it was required, imagine if his rabbi said to him, every time you give me the maaser, I want you to confess that you say, Rabbi, I promise you that this is what I'm giving you. It's exactly 10% from my net income for this month. All the crooks, 99% of them will not cheat. Because it's much easier to give someone and disappear than when you come and say to his face, I promise you this is 10% of my income. Most people won't be able to look at the rabbi's face and lie to them like this. It will be very hard to give less. When you make a declaration, it's much harder to cheat. If you just give, he doesn't ask, you don't say, easy to cheat. You give and you disappeared after a minute. But when you come and look at him, Rabbi, here is $1,000, I promise you it's 10% of my monthly income. Very hard for you to lie. So you say, you know what, better I get really 10% that I don't have to make a lie like this, face to face. Now this is in front of Hashem, which is much more important than the rabbi, right? Person comes to Bet HaMikdash and say to the Kohen, which is a messenger of God in the Holy Temple, I cleared my whole house and my field from the 10% that I owe the temple. Nobody has the guts to do it. That's why Hashem say, everyone that pay me what they owe me, the 10% is not theirs. I add it to your salary, that you give it out. It's different than tzedakah. Tzedakah you give from yours. Maaser, it's not yours. I attached it extra to your salary to give out. Not doing me a favor. I gave you what I wanted to give you. If I gave you $10,000 for you and your family, I added another 10% for it for you to give out. You keep it for yourself, you're stealing from me. It's different. From your 10, you can give whatever you want. It's really yours. You don't want to give, you're stingy, it's your problem. But it's yours. But here I gave you extra to give out. You're stealing it? What is it like if you work for me and I have to pay you now in the end of the month $10,000 salary, and I put extra $1,000 in the envelope and I say give it to the poor people in over there, in that yeshiva over there. Go and give the 1,000 for the people that needs it for Shabbat. And he keep the 1,000 in his pocket. Is a thief or not? 100%, no? That's why people must give maaser. Emil, you decided to cook us today before the siyum. On a grill, up, down, sunny side up. Baruch Hashem. That's okay. But mitzvah, so there was mitzvah vidui maaser, confession that you really gave 10%. Mitzvah number 608, when a person is onen. What's onen? Onen means one, his father, his mother, chas v'shalom, wife, one of the 7 relatives died and they are not buried yet. He's dismissed from all the mitzvot. He has to say Birkat Hamazon, is dismissed. He has to say Shema, is dismissed. He has to put Filin, dismissed. Not only not have to, not allowed to do. Why? Because his mind is not in a mitzvah right now. His mind is, I have to bury chas v'shalom my wife or my father or my mother. That's where his mind is. Until the body will not be buried, he cannot have a peace of mind. Same thing, the night of the wedding of the groom, he is not allowed to say Shema Israel. Many years ago, I used to think, what's going on here? What happened if the groom, by the time the rabbi writes all the agreements and everything, he's going to go to the side 2 minutes and say Shema Israel? Why not allowed? You can say, if you forgot to say, fine, you're dismissed. Why? You know, you're getting married, fine. But why not allowed? Now, why not allowed? The answer is, Hashem say, I want you to do the mitzvot with attention. Attention and intention. If you cannot set your mind to the mitzvah, better you don't do it. To do it wrong is better not to do it. It's a big message for life. But why a person who gets married tonight is unable to say Shema? Why? You know why? I'll tell you why. You maybe don't get the point. It took me also years to get the point. In the religious kosher world, the real religious world, not the fake, the real one, a guy that is going to get married is 18, 19, 20, not only never touched a woman, not only never had relation with a woman, most of them didn't even look at a woman. It's against the law. They have to be a modest person. So they come out of yeshiva learning Torah all their life since they're in little kindergarten, all their life, 16, 17 years learning Torah. They come now and they sit in front of a woman for the first time in their life. Of course, every woman, when you bring them, 99 out of 100, they'll agree. Because they don't have like the secular people to compare with another million that they see all day in a dirty magazine and in the movies. They don't have that. They don't go to the disco, they don't go to the bar. They don't know. If a person never saw a car, somebody in Zimbabwe, and you bring him the worst car in the world, smoking, noise, horrible car, you know how he's happy? Much better than his donkey. The car is like winning the lottery. When he's going to realize that this car is junk? When you show him a nice BMW or Lexus. Now he knows he has a junk. If he doesn't have what to compare his junk with, he doesn't really know that it's junk. He's very happy with. Not to talk that chas v'shalom a woman can be junk, but just to give you the idea. So now if you sit with a woman, she's not the prettiest in the world. She's not with the best body in the world. She's not the smartest in the world. But he never had any close meeting like this with a woman. So what happened now? Of course he agreed. Right away he falls in love with her. 2 hours later he's in love already because he never got to such an intimate situation. It's first love. But not only that, now in the night of the wedding, his mind is only on one thing. What's going to happen later when we have to be together in bed? That's all he's thinking about, his worry. He's not, chas v'shalom, a mufkar parutz that went to 500 bars and made all the sins in the world like most secular people do today, unfortunately. It's not, he doesn't know anything. He's very nervous. Yeah, his rabbi or his parents, they have to prepare him for this moment. Same thing the girl. So all they have in their mind is who knows how it's going to be embarrassing. You know, we were so modest. It's going to be such fear. They have such fear from that moment that they cannot have Shema Israel right now. They only worry about this moment. Hashem said, no Shema Israel, don't worry, dismissed. You know, I know you cannot do it. But today, a person has to say 500 times Shema Israel the night of his wedding, to erase all the sins he made until his wedding. He's not afraid that he's now going with his wife, unfortunately. Some of them already get to the wedding after they lived together 7 years and made all the sins in the world. Of course they have to say Shema. What, he's nervous? She's his wife already 9 years, 7 years, whatever. This is how sad it is. Sometimes you read the instruction of Hashem in the Torah, you think, chas v'shalom, the Torah is crazy. But when you think again, we are crazy. We are corrupted. We are rotten, not the Torah. The Torah is straight. Yesharim darkei Hashem tzadikim ילכו bam ופושעים ייכשלו bam. The ways of Hashem is straight. The righteous people will walk through it, and the wicked will fail and fall to the side. If you have difficulties understanding the logic of this mitzvot, check again. You are the problem, my friend. Check again. Mitzvah, so if a person is onen, same thing. If somebody died, he cannot eat maaser sheni while he's onen. He cannot do anything, but that's a specific restriction in the Torah. Mi shemet lo echad mikrovav, one of his relatives died, and he mourned on them. The day that he died, and he has to bury him, is called onen, right? So, in a day like this, if he needs to eat the maaser sheni, is not allowed. Why? Because it's mitzvah. It's not regular eating food. If a person has to bury, chas v'shalom, one of his relatives, and he's hungry, he's allowed to eat. He doesn't have to say bracha. He eats without bracha. No bracha rishona, no bracha achrona. But if he has to eat something holy, oh, that's already a mitzvah. Not survival. We're not talking survival. For instance, if chas v'shalom, it happened an hour before Leila Seder, and he has to eat matzah, and he's onen, it's not allowed. Cannot do the mitzvah of achilat matzah, because it's not regular eating that you're hungry now and you need to eat matzah. It's a special mitzvah. You cannot have your mind on a mitzvah. You're not allowed to do it. Mitzvah number 609, not to eat maaser sheni when you're impure. Same thing, not that you have to mourn or to bury someone, that you're impure. You touch the dead body or anything like this, you're not holy. You need to eat this maaser sheni, which is holy. It was separated from the pile. It became holy once it's separated and dedicated. From that moment, if you're impure, you're not allowed to eat from it. Mitzvah number 610, not to use the money of maaser sheni for anything besides food and drinks. Only something to eat, something to drink. Let's say you want to use this money to buy a beautiful chandelier to Bet HaMikdash, or a new door, or anything like this. It's also a donation. Why? I only have to give food? The answer is yes. Can be only used. This particular maaser sheni can be only used for food and drinks. Mitzvah number 611. We're getting there. We're almost there. Mitzvah number 611. Is to look and behave like Hashem and His good ways. It's mitzvah for every Jew to imitate God, but only to imitate God, not other people. Why it's no mitzvah to imitate righteous people? Because every person has his unique test in life. What he has to do in his life could be completely different than what you have to do in your life. Sometimes his job is to learn Torah all his life non-stop. You are not this, no, you cannot do it. If you're going to try to do it, you're going to break your spirits because you're not in this level. Your job is to sell and to work and to be honest in the business, and this is your main taste in life. So because you're not like him, not necessarily you have a reason to feel bad. Person is jealous with a woman. Why are you jealous with her? She has a specific test, and your test is completely different. There's nothing to be jealous with. Or to imitate her, or she imitates you. No. Everyone has his unique job in life, besides keeping all the mitzvot, of course. There's mandatory mitzvot. You have to learn Torah every day, you have to put tefillin, you have to eat kosher, you have to make brachot, shema, tefillah, tzedakah, everything. But specific direction in life, not everyone has the same. Not everyone. So there's really no reason to imitate one each other. So we have a mitzvah. Ma'u rachum, Hashem is merciful. That means it's good. You should be a merciful person. Hashem is generous. You should learn from him to be generous. Hashem is modest. He hates prostitution. He hates mix between guys and girls. He hates people who don't dress modest. You should feel the same way if you're holy. You want to be like Hashem, you have to feel like Hashem. You have to think like Hashem. If you think like a donkey, you are a donkey. If you think like you Hashem, you're holy. Very simple. There's no in between. You have to decide what you want to be. You want to be a corrupted person who go to the bars to make sins every night? Like a hunter running after his desire? Like the dogs in the field? That's what you want to be? Or you want to be a kosher, holy person? You know, sometimes I read some of these emails that the non-Jews sending me. Not only I'm impressed, I'm ashamed sometimes. I say to myself, look at this guy. He's no Torah. He didn't grow up in yeshiva. His parents never taught him Torah. And he arrived to it with his common sense. You know, like some goyim, they feel ashamed that once in a while they make a sin. And you know, so they ask me, how do I repent for that sin? They're not even obligated. Hashem allowed them. For a Jew, it's a horrible sin, but for them it's not. But they already feel so guilty. Not that it's not even a sin for them. But they already feel so embarrassed from Hashem. What does it show you? That this is a very high-level goy. And there's no way in the world it can be better from us. No way in the world, because we have the book of God in our hand. We published it to the world. It cannot be that the student become more tzaddik than the rabbi who taught him everything he knows. It should not be that way. You can get to his level, fine, but to be better than him, it's an embarrassment for the Torah. That's why they say that the rabbis sometimes go, Mizrachi Arabim, someone who makes other people religious, it saves him from hell, he gets saved from sins, he has special protection. Why? Why? You interfere with his choices? The answer is that his student won't be in heaven and he will end up in hell for the sins he made. It's no respect for the Torah that the rabbi will be in hell and the student will go to heaven. So he has special protection. Why? To protect the honor of the Torah. You understand what's going on here? So we have to look, to be like Hashem. Ve'alachta bidrachav, follow his ways. You know, if he's chanun, you be chanun. If he's rachum, you be rachum. Is it righteous? He's righteous, you should be righteous. He's holy, you should be holy. Everything we can imitate Hashem with, we have to do. Straight, honest, decent, hero, brave, courage, and many other examples. Mitzvah number 612. Gathering every 7 years. It's called Mitzvat Hakel. Every 7 years, the king collects all the nation and all the rabbis, and they collect all the nations. It's called Mitzvat Hakel. This is in the end of Shnat Shemitah. Every 7 years, we have a year of a strike. The farmers, nobody grow anything in the fields. All the loans that were taken are all dismissed. This is the year of Shnat Shemitah. Every 7 times 7, the 50th year, it's Shnat Yovel. But this is Shnat Shemitah. The end of Shnat Shemitah, the end of it, when in the end, the year is over, comes Rosh Hashanah of the New Year, comes Yom Kippur, and then comes Sukkot. So 2 weeks into the New Year, it's still concluding the previous year. Then they read to them Mishneh Torah, the book of Deuteronomy, Sefer Dvarim. Why? Because it's conclusion of the entire Torah. You have Bereshit, Shmot, Vayikra, Bamidbar. You have Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and come to Deuteronomy and repeats everything and conclude. And there's also the will of Moshe Rabbeinu before he passed away. Everything in the 5th book. That's why I always tell people, you know what, you don't have time to come to lectures. You don't have time to listen to CD. Do me one favor. Just read Deuteronomy. That's it. Not the rest of the Torah. I know he's not going to read the whole Torah. So I said, just read Sefer Dvarim. All the ethic, all the musar, all the killing to the conscience is all right there. To wake up the conscience of everyone. Once a person begins to read, he's shocked. Wow, so many instructions and I'm not aware of any of them. That's Sefer Dvarim. So they read Sefer Dvarim, they wake up the people, they compare the Torah that they copy manually, that there's no mistakes. One read and everyone check. And if somebody by mistake made mistake, he compare with the majority. Nobody has the same mistake, so he correct. That's why the Torah kept one version, 3,322 years. Christianity, 150,000 different New Testaments, different books, different versions, 150,000 different ones. Quran, hundreds of different Qurans, all over the world, different Qurans, different day, different names, different missing, spelling, all kinds of problems. Torah, one Torah, we have the Mesorah, we never lost it, as we got from Har Sinai. Nothing changed, no meaning changed, no names changed, no date changed, no the order changed, nothing. Why? This is one of the reasons. There's different protections of the Torah. That every 7 years they go over it and they check. And the last mitzvah for this series, mitzvah number 613, just when I see the food is arriving in a perfect timing. How do they know to aim? Exactly. We're going to do siyum. It's a special thing when you do siyum on something that is good. To show that we're happy that we got to this day. Mitzvah number 613 to finish this series, that every Jew has to write himself a Sefer Torah that he will own by himself. Now I know what you're thinking. How come most of the Jews in the world don't have their own Sefer Torah? Now this mitzvah, even if your father left you 5 Sifrei Torah, he inherited from his father, from his grandfather, from another grandfather, from another one, from his uncle. He has 5 Sifrei Torah which you inherit. You still have to write yourself one Sefer Torah. You can give the 5 to the synagogues, one of your own. Now, today, this mitzvah lost the relevance that it used to have, and I'll tell you why. In the old days, every Jew, he had to write with a feather because there was no other way. There's no typing, no pens, none of these things. Everyone, since he's a little kid, they teach him how to use a pen and to write Ktav Ashuri. Ashur means a non-Jewish nation that used to be Ashur. But it doesn't mean that the writing came from them. The writing was published in the time of Ashur, so they call it Ktav Ashuri. I made a research why they name it after that. It's like you say something about something Persian. Doesn't mean Persian Muslim. Persian means Persian Jewish. But doesn't mean Persia, it means Jewish. But this is just an example. So what I'm saying is like this. Since everybody knew how to write, and there were no papers like now, like today, no printing machine, and no papers like this. This paper is made from wood. It's a process, wood and lime and all kinds of things that they mix with liquid, and it creates papers. What paper they had? The skin of the cows. They remove the hair, they process it in lime, they dry it, they remove the hair, and it becomes, that's what we write the Sefer Torah. This is the scroll. So first of all, it's very expensive. That's why, if you look at the books that from hundreds of years ago, used to write much, very, very little, tiny, and very short. Most of it abbreviations. Why? To save pages. Very expensive. The more you write, the more money you waste. Today, nobody cares about papers. You throw it to the garbage. You write one mistake, you throw it to the garbage. It was very difficult to have what to write on. The ink is expensive. Keep changing the feather, cutting it with a knife, preparing it to the right side. It's a lot of work. So everybody knew how to write. Every Jew knew how to slaughter animals. Every Jew knew how to circumcise the baby. It was mitzvah for the father to do. Every Jew knew how to write Sefer Torah. Every Jew knew how to do everything. Because there's no other way. It's not like today you come to the store, you buy. You want tefillin, you make yourself tefillin. You write. You know how to make. You Talmid Chacham, you write. You don't know, you hire someone. Today almost nobody knows. Only the specialist. So that's why you have to buy it. Same thing Sefer Torah. You don't know how to write. You nominate somebody by giving him money to write for you Sefer Torah. The reason that this mitzvah is not so famous anymore because it's a lot of money. It's 25, 30, 40, 50, or can be up to $80,000, depending on the writer. Most people cannot afford such prices, and it takes between 1 to 2 years to write Sefer Torah. So that's why this mitzvah slowly got neglected. But if a person has a lot of money and he can afford to hire someone to write Sefer Torah for him, why not? He can keep mitzvah that most people don't have the merit. What does he do when he finished to write the Sefer Torah is another problem. Where to put it? You don't want to put it in your living room or in your bedroom when people speak Lashon Hara and walk not modest. They have to put it in a holy place. Most synagogues have Sefer Torah up to here. They don't know where to hide them, where to put them. It's a problem. That's why this mitzvah is mitzvah without mazal. But every rich person who finally wants to do something productive usually always do achnasat Sefer Torah for the memory of his parents, for the memory of his brother, for the memory of his grandfather. And this is a very big mistake. Why it's a big mistake? Because for the amount of money he's going to spend on a Sefer Torah, 30, 40, 50,000, whatever it is, with the silver case and everything, can be sometimes $100,000. Every one of them that do it really almost wasting his money completely. Because every week almost they have achnasat Sefer Torah and another one and another one, and the shul is stuffed with Sifrei Torah. They don't know what to do with that. It becomes a burden to the shul. Because according to the halakha, you have to open it at least once a year to refresh it. It's leather. You have to open it. If you have 100 Sifrei Torah, do you know how difficult it is to open each one of them, bring it back, take this one out, put what's inside, open it, roll it to the right place? It becomes a whole job. So not only you're not really helping, they don't really need your Sefer Torah. They have plenty. You're spending so much money. With this money, with the price of one Sefer Torah, you can make 1,000 secular Jews from religious. What's more important? To spend $50,000 to make 1,000 Jews Shomer Shabbat, or to write another Sefer Torah that will be in a storage in Brooklyn in some wealthy shul for 5 years in a storage without seeing light? What's better? Right? That's why when the Satan wants to fool the rich people, he gives them the idea right away to volunteer, to donate another Sefer Torah. Maybe the shul needs other thing. Maybe the shul needs help with the mortgage, which is already more important. By the time you finish getting Sefer Torah, the shul is bankrupt. To build synagogue, you have plenty of volunteers. Everyone wants his name on a building. To maintain it, almost nobody wants. To build, a lot of people. Oh yeah, Aron Kodesh, $500,000. This, 50,000, 100,000. Why? They write. Donation of family such and such. You come. Shul next to my house. You come, the door was donated, courtesy of da-da-da. On the building, the courtesy of family this for the memory of their father. Everywhere you go, you're writing all over. Great honor. Everybody will know that I donated the shul. But to give monthly money to pay the bills, the electric, the cleaning, the books, whatever, nobody would know about it. So for that, there's not that many volunteers. You understand? Same thing to open yeshiva, there are volunteers. To pay monthly, that the people would sit and learn, that's already much harder. Because the Satan is a genius. When a Jew finally wants to give donation, he will do everything he can to push him to a less valuable mitzvah. You have a mitzvah that will give you 1 billion mitzvot, and you have a mitzvah that will give you 1,000 mitzvot. You already want to give $50,000. The Satan fool you in the last minute, and you do something, and you get 1,000 mitzvot after 20 years. You can get 1 billion for the same amount of money, but the Satan doesn't let. He try first to make you not do any mitzvah. Even the 1,000, it's too much for him. But when he has to choose between 1 billion to 1,000, he push you towards the 1,000. You're on the way to learn Torah. The neighbor tell you, can you give me a ride to the hospital? I have to give birth. Why? The Satan, no, you're going to sit 6-7 hours, learn Torah. It's 100,000 mitzvot today. So he make you do one mitzvah, take her to be a taxi driver. You understand? Oh, you know what? Let me make him feel great that he took a pregnant woman to give birth. But a clever person say, no problem. Taxi, make sure you get her, you take her in, here is an extra $30, no problem, senor, goodbye. Put her in a thing, let me go learn Torah. Like this, you got both. You send her to the hospital on your expense, which is good, save you the 2 hours time, or 3, plus you went to learn Torah. You understand? But, you know, we can talk about this subject forever. But Baruch Hashem, Bezrat Hashem, we came to this final mitzvah. We did 613 mitzvot. Today, most of the mitzvot are not in effect, because we don't have the temple, we don't have Bet HaMikdash. So we have 77 mitzvot aseh in effect today, 77 positive mitzvot. And if I'm not mistaken, 245 or 246 restriction. So about 50% of the mitzvot are not in effect today, because most of them are sacrifices, 10% from the wheat, 10% here, Bikurim, 3 festivals, Kohanim, a lot of it is not in effect. Now from this 77 and 240 something, many of them does not apply to an ordinary Jew. If a person is slaughtering an animal, there's few mitzvot that applies. We don't slaughter, so take it off. If a person is a boss, there's many mitzvot that he has to pay on time. We are not the boss. So right away, few more mitzvot are not. If a person is a woman, so they have certain things that apply only to women, doesn't apply to you, take it off. So even from this, there's a lot less to take. If you're a sofer, you have a few mitzvot. You're not a sofer, take it off. You know, Amalek, Amalek is not in effect. There's many different things. If you take it off, how many mitzvot a person has to do today? Not that many. Few mitzvot aseh, few restrictions, that's it. Some of them is once a week, like Shabbat. Some of them is once a year, Yom Kippur, once a year. Pesach, once a year. Matzah, once a year. Lulav, once a year. Sukkah, once a year. Take off the once a year. How many you really have to do? Not that much. But we still find what to complain about. Oof, too much. There's nothing, almost nothing left to do. Bezrat Hashem will be strong, and we go higher and higher. Thank you, Rabbi Bloom. Thank you, Emil. Thank you, everyone. We'll start Bezrat Hashem another series. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen. Anybody to say Kaddish? רבי חנניה בן הקשיא אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לצדקות ישראל, לפיכך הרבה להם תורה ומצוות, שנאמר, אדוני חפץ למען צדקו יגדיל תורה ויאדיר.